This is exciting. If you love stand-up comedy like I do, you probably know who Kathy Griffin is. She's at the Paramount Theater in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. And Kathy Griffin is on the MPW Digital TV Celebrity Hotline right now. Kathy, how are you?
Good. I'm very excited to be coming to Cedar Rapids.
Yes, I can't wait. But before we get to that, so we're both from Oak Park, Illinois. Do you know that?
I had no idea you were a fellow Oak Parker.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to bring my Midwestern common sense to Cedar Rapids for my show, which means a no-holds-barred, we Midwesterners can take it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can say to shock you. But are you saying that our mission also should be to put Oak Park, Illinois on the map?
Yes, I think it needs to be on the map more so than it already is.
Well, let's see who we have. We've got McDonald's founder Ray Kroc.
Yes.
We've got Frank Lloyd Wright, who lived there for a while. And we have you and me.
I think we're doing pretty good, Kathy.
Top that.
It's pretty
Taylor
good.
Swift, wherever you're from.
Right.
Or whomever your listeners love.
Oh, well, I think that they love you.
We'll see if they show up in droves at the Paramount Wednesday, May 18th at 8 p.m. How about that?
They're definitely going to be here. I have one other connection with you, and I don't want you to be weirded out, okay?
Go ahead.
But I think your first cousin, Joe Bittinger, is married to my aunt.
Oh, cool. I love my cousin Joe Bittinger.
Yeah, so there's our little 6 degrees of separation or whatever.
I love it. Now, do your listeners care about this?
You know what? They probably don't, but I just wanted to share that with you because
I think it's the personal touch that makes you special.
Well, I share a lot on the radio. I called in from the hospital when my first kid was born, so, you know, I'm all about the sharing.
As am I. That is another thing we have in common. I will be sharing a lot of inappropriate and some might say envelope pushing. I'm going to go with naughty. You can choose vulgar. Let me just say this. Here's a disclaimer for the people of Cedar Rapids. The show is not going to be for the faint of heart. If you've seen me live before, and I played Cedar Rapids before, this is going to be all new material. All new.
Wow.
In this political landscape, I can't hold back. I have a story about Donald Trump that is personal. I've met him several times. And that alone is worth the price of admission. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on.
Yeah.
I've known that nut job for a while. I have had a run-in recently with everyone from Leonardo DiCaprio to Sean Penn, both of which are jaw-droppers. And that is what I do. I bring the personal stories to the stage of the run-ins, as well as whatever pop culture, issues are happening, or real culture. For example, your Governor Terry Branstad, God only knows what he's up to. Here's what I'm going to suggest. I'm going to say that Joni Ernst is invited to my show. I'm just going to say she probably wouldn't enjoy it. But I think everyone else will. And I expect to get a standing ovation like I did at Carnegie freaking Hall.
Holy cow. That's awesome.
You heard me. I'm in the middle of an 80-city tour.
Jeez Louise.
Don't talk to me about the real America, my friend. I am in the middle of going to the real America. I am everywhere on this tour, from Thousand Oaks, California, where I was last week, where hockey giant Wayne Gretzky came to my show.
Wow.
I know. That's random, and yet it was fantastic. And I'm playing everywhere from, Lincoln, Nebraska to Nashville to Salina, Kansas to Minneapolis to Vegas to Bethlehem, PA. I play the Sydney Opera House. I am loving it because everywhere I go, there's new stuff to talk about.
I was going to say, so for you, Kathy, obviously bringing new material and putting it out there during the shows, you love doing that because some people will kind of have material that they might carry over, but is it a challenge for you to have new material all the time, or is it just what you've been doing for so long you wouldn't have it any other way?
Correct. It's a challenge for me to do it the other way. Like when you talk about comics that kind of put together this perfectly tight monologue and they tour with it and then they go home, I totally get that. That's just not what you're going to get when you come see me. What you're going to get is very improvisational. What I love about stand-up is changing it every single show. Every single show. I've done 23, written and starred in, 23 stand-up comedy specials. I'm in the Guinness Book of World Records for more stand-up comedy specials than any comedian, male or female, living or dead. I love doing new material. And also, the world will not stop having Kardashians.
Right.
And it's also the world's fault that I have to keep touring. I'm writing a book right now that comes out December 27th called Kathy Griffin's Celebrity Run-Ins and Index A to Z.
Yes.
Because I've met pretty much everybody and then I will tell their tales on stage whether they like it or not.
Oh, my gosh. So
That's right. You're not safe either, Tony.
Well, geez, perfect. Well, just tell everybody that I'm devilishly handsome. I don't know. But I want to ask you about that, Kathy, because you've met so many people, and I've had the pleasure of interviewing some unique guests over the years.
Oh, I'm sure you have stories, too.
I do. And, we have Alice Cooper's radio show on our station, for instance. And
Yes, I know Alice.
Yeah.
I went to his place in Hawaii.
I love that. So we just saw him. He was in Peoria on May 4th, and we saw him after the show. He's 68 years old. He's the nicest guy ever. Yep. Without going into too much detail, because I don't want to spoil anything in the book, what one celebrity did you come across that was just the worst?
Oh, it's funny that you would tell the story about Alice Cooper, because he is someone that is kind of the essence of what this book is going to be about, which is it's a lot of people like Alice Cooper. You have this image of them, and then when you meet them, they couldn't be nicer.
Right.
So I have several stories like that, and I have I'm very proud of this. I am the only person who doesn't like John Hamm from Mad Men.
Why? What happened?
As long as I've known John, he's just, he's not very nice. He's like, just a condescending guy. And never really nice to me. Mm-hmm. And whenever I tease him, he doesn't get the joke. And I've had a couple, experiences with him where they were a little too, small areas, like maybe a group of just 8 or 10 people.
Sure.
And he's, behaved in a way that's not so nice. But when I tell people that, I'm like, oh, I can't stand John Hamm. Everybody just goes, John Hamm, I love that guy. And I go, all right, well, I've known him for a while. And But, hey, it's all just my opinion. Obviously, John Hamm is doing just fine.
Right.
But that's another reason I don't really hold back. Whether on stage or wherever I go, there's really no reason to hold back. Like, okay, if I make fun of Oprah Winfrey, what's it going to do to her?
Yeah, right.
It's not going to help her. She's not going to lose weight. It's all in fun, no harm, no foul. But, I also love the live experience, because that is a place where you can do the stuff that is the most inappropriate.
Sure.
And I'm pretty inappropriate in all mediums, but live, it's really a sight to see. I mean, there'll be walkouts. People will storm out. There will be gasping.
I love it.
Sometimes I say things that are just going to elicit a gasp. That is okay, too. I don't feel like I've done my job until I get a good, solid walkout.
No, I love it. And I think, and I don't know if it's a good comparison or fair or not, but, back in the day, Don Rickles would say things and people would think, oh, my gosh, did he just say that? And he never had to apologize. And I feel like, Kathy, all we do in 2016 is people express their opinion and then they have to apologize. And then,
I promise you won't get any apologizing at the Paramount. None. Zero.
That's awesome.
Not in the world of stand-up comedy. I mean, there are plenty of people who have jobs where they have to or should apologize. And then there's, you're right, like Don Rickles. I mean, can you imagine seeing Don and then seeing him spend the second half of the show apologizing? It just wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't be the same. It's not what you expect with stand-up comics. So
right.
I'm a firm believer that stand-up comedy is the last bastion where you can be wrong, inappropriate, and say heinous things you can never take back. As long as they're laughing, that's all I care about.
Well,
that's the benchmark. If they're laughing, then it stays in the act. If they're not laughing, I change it for the next night. No,
I think it's great. I love that you keep it so fresh. So obviously you're doing all these shows. When it wraps up, are you going to take a break? Do you go on vacation? You go back home? What do you do?
Well, when it wraps up, I'll probably go into book mode, so I'll be in a book promotion. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, I'll be ruining Anderson Cooper's life. I mean, doing New Year's Eve with Anderson Cooper. Enriching his life. Did I say that? I meant enriching his life.
I love it.
Yeah. So I'm a shark. I'm always moving. I'm always on to the next. So I'm not really big on breaks.
Yeah.
So I probably would take like a 3-day break.
Wow.
But then I'll just come up with a new show, go back on tour, and who knows what's coming down the pike in the TV area, or maybe I'll get a film role. I mean, my gosh, I've got 2 Emmys and a Grammy. I'm halfway to an EGOT. I should work on completing the Oscar and the Tony.
And I just talked about that this morning with the dude from Miami Vice that coined the phrase, and then I think it was with Philip Michael Thomas or whatever, and he hadn't won any of those. So you're already ahead of that guy. So that's
right. I'm 2 ahead of Philip Michael Thomas.
Yes.
And yet I never meant to do that in his face.
Right.
It just happened that way. But I will say, being a chick comic in a very male-dominated field is something I deal with every single night. So come see me, Cedar Rapids, even if you think chicks aren't funny. I will have you laughing, I promise.
Well, I know that, and I appreciate what you've done and continued to do throughout your career, and I think that you've helped pave the way, because we do, unfortunately, and I talked to Gina Davis a couple weeks ago about just how Hollywood is still so sexist, and it's tough.
I think it's worse than ever.
Wow.
I think it's worse than ever. I mean, look at the late-night landscape, and those guys have it locked down.
Right.
And, so I love it every time, pretty much anything with a...
yes.
Yeah, comes to see my show, because because I can't tell you how many guys I meet before after shows that are like, normally I didn't think chicks are funny, but I was laughing the whole time because my wife dragged me. And I say, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I say that is a compliment. But I have vets at every show. I work with an organization called vettix.org. And after I performed in Iraq and Afghanistan, which, by the way, that's where you really learn not to hold back.
Right.
When you perform in war zones, you don't try to be precious or adorable or politically correct. You just say whatever it takes to make people laugh. So I have a nice wide variety of people that are going to come see me. And also, like I said, being a Midwesterner, I know my Cedar Rapids. I know what you people want. You want the down and dirty. You want the no BS. I'm going to be giving you all the hilarity and all the judgment you can handle.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
It's a very much of a zone of judgment.
I can't wait.
I proudly judge others unfairly, and then just run out of the theater as fast as I can before they figure it out.
Right. On to the next one. Yeah.
That's right. On
That's
to the next
awesome.
Judgment Hall.
Oh, my gosh. Well, listen, I can't wait. It's Wednesday, May 18th, Paramount Theater, which is a fantastic venue. I've been there a couple times several years ago, saw Jim Gaffigan in the third row, had an excellent experience. So,
well, that's another dirty secret about comedy, is it actually plays so much better in theaters and clubs.
Oh, yeah.
So I love the Paramount as well. And, it's my type of shows. I don't have an opener. It's an evening with, and so get there on time and have a nice, comfortable seat, and you don't have to worry about, the nightclub vibe.
Right.
You can just sit and enjoy and relax.
Oh, Kathy, I can't wait. The book, again, is going to be good, too. That's definitely something that I love stories like that, because working in radio for 10 years, like I said, I've interviewed people, but then those...
Then you have these little snippets that people don't know about.
Yeah, right. And then your perspectives and these firsthand accounts, I can't wait to check it out. What's going to be the release date on that, tentatively?
The release date is December 27th.
Nice.
And it's called Kathy Griffin, Celebrity Run-Ins and Index A to Z, and it's on Macmillan Books, which is ironically the same publisher that's doing Oprah's next book.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully Oprah will allow mine to be released. I haven't heard anything negative yet.
You know what? Oprah spent just, probably, I don't know who was in Chicago longer, but I figured there'd be maybe a friendship there. But
I did too.
Oh,
boy. And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Look, it's a work in progress. Oprah hasn't come around yet, but she will.
Yeah.
Someday she's going to call, and she and Gail are going to come over. We're going to have some of those expensive scones from Williams and Sonoma that they talk about.
Oh, my gosh. I'll just stick with an Italian beef from Johnny's on North Avenue. I don't know about you.
You're talking my lingo, baby. Yeah. I'm definitely going to get an Italian beef when I'm in Cedar Rapids. You kidding?
Yeah, I don't know if there are...
Oh, no, you're talking Johnny's from Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's we grew up down the street in Elmwood Park, then we moved to Oak Park, so it's... Yeah, we don't really we have good food in the state of Iowa, but there's no Italian beefs, and it's devastating for a large man like myself, but what are you going to do?
Oh, I get it. You got to just go one day at a time.
It's very tough. Kathy, I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate the time. I can't wait to see you at the show on the 18th, and safe travels, and continue making people uncomfortable, because you never make me uncomfortable. I think you're hilarious, but
thank you.
People just need to get over it and just go out and have a laugh, right?
Yes, I'm warning them in advance. They're going to laugh and be uncomfortable. But here's the good news. They don't have to do anything. They just have to sit there and, it's not interactive. You can just sit there, and if you're uncomfortable, the lights are going to be out, and no one's going to really even know. You can just laugh.
It's so true.
All right, thank you, Tony. You are a doll, and I will see you in Cedar Rapids, my friend.
Thank you, Kathy. Take care.
All right, you too. Bye.
Bye.
Wake up with the Tony Tone Show. Weekday mornings, 5:30 till 10 a.m.